Hi, and welcome to Twin Cities Real Estate Rhetoric. My name is Tom Sommers. I am one of your hosts, joined with my co-host, Tovi Muma. How are you, Tovi?
Very good, thanks.
We ask this every single time. Even though we work across the hall from each other and see each other only maybe 2 times a day. But being that Tovi is my friend,
We're
I like to
friends.
say all the time, how are you, Tovi?
You're my friend, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are going to talk about things for sellers again today to follow up with one of our last podcasts. And today we thought we would cover the idea that if you're thinking about listing your home for sale, you're going to want to ask questions. And some of it's pretty basic stuff, but we thought we'll go over 5 of the most basic questions that you should be asking when you are interviewing a real estate agent to list and sell your home. Toby, what do you think is important about asking these questions, or why should a seller interview an agent?
Well, I think that number one, everybody has different personalities and different ways that they want to be communicated to. You basically need to make sure that you click with somebody, because this is somebody that's going to be helping you through the process from start to finish. And you want to make sure you know what you're getting into, who you're going to be dealing with, and interviewing the people, see who you click with most, and ask some basic questions, and we'll go through those in a minute.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah,
Okay.
because I think that too many people on average just talk to the very first agent and just kind of go with them. And
Right.
that's sometimes a good idea, but more often than not a bad idea. We wanted to highlight the point that we all work differently.
Yep.
Toby and I have different styles as well. We're very similar in a lot of areas, but we even work differently. And so
Sure.
you got to find, like Toby was saying, that one that fits for you, because this is going to be a long-term relationship. We're talking 4, 6, 8 months, sometimes even longer depending on your property.
Right.
So let's just jump right into it. So the first question would be, how long have you been a licensed agent, and are you a full-time agent?
Right. And I think that's important. Number one, I think your time being an agent and experience that you have, I think the experience is power. And you want somebody that has, I think a couple years experience under their belt. Don't you think? I feel like every experience that I go through with a closing, whether it's a seller or a buyer, every experience I can use that with my next client.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that experience, how many years they've been in the business, and then also if you're full time, you don't want somebody that's doing it part time, because there's a lot of information to know. It's a daily learning process. And I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, if cousin Bob has his real estate license and he's still cutting meat for during the day,
Right.
he's probably not the best candidate. And the reason that we say that, or to drive home the point that Toby was making, is look at it. We're full-time professional agents. This is all we do. So
Right.
we are here to answer the phone and take care of business. And with the way these buyers are nowadays, if they call you and you don't respond to them in the next 5 minutes, they're already moving on to somebody else.
Yep, they're calling the next
You know,
person in
yeah,
line.
who
Right.
better to promote your house than the person that you have that's listed? Not to mention, we have meetings, we have continuing education. There's all this stuff that we have to stay on top of on a regular basis that I think is important to the sale of your home.
Yes.
So choose carefully, and don't choose someone that's also working at Denny's.
Right.
You know?
Very good.
Yeah.
All right.
Second one would be, what's your definition of full service? This is a biggie, because this word, or term, I should say, just like the term as is one of the most overused, misused terminology out there for real estate. So, Toby, what do you think about full service? What's that?
Well, I think, asking little questions such as, how are you going to follow up with me after showings? Are you going to check in with me weekly? Are you going to email me? Are you going to call me? Are you going to, what's the form of communication? And then the agent also needs to, get in touch with the seller and just say, how do you want me to connect with you? Do you want me to just follow up with you on a weekly basis, or do you want to hear back from me on every little call or question on your home?
Yeah,
So I think
everybody's different.
right. So full service depends on who the seller is, and you should be finding out from the agent, how do you want to be serviced, or how do they want to service you?
Right. Well, and also too, I think I want to add to that as well, that with regards to full service, I've always believed that it's taking care of you from the moment that we first sign the contract and you agree to work together to the last minute of the closing when you are walking out with your check.
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand, which it's not your responsibility to understand because it's our business and we're the ones who should be explaining this, that we work full time with this, and it's a process. It's not just about listing your home and marketing it and coming up with a price. After we have that purchase agreement, we are the ringleaders for you. We are talking to the title companies for the buyer as well as you, the seller. We're talking with the loan officer working for the buyer, and we're dealing with the buyer's agent to make sure that everybody throughout the whole process has everything that they need to make this transaction happen.
Yep. And don't forget inspections, appraisals,
Yeah.
all of that stuff in between too.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
a lot of work. Yeah.
So it can drag on, and there's an awful lot of stuff that has to be covered. So full service also to me means follow up, follow through, and making sure that the agent you choose has a system to follow all of these things to make sure that nothing is missed and everything gets done.
Right. Very good.
All right. So number 3 would be, how do you track your web hits and how many does your website receive? This maybe is a little of an odd question for some, but the way that the market is shifting and the way the buyers' needs keep changing with mobile applications and all of the different things and the ways that they look for properties now, if your real estate agent doesn't have their own independent website, independent of whoever their company is, I would think twice right there about, where are we at here?
Right.
You got to have at the minimum a website with your company with some amount of information on it, and you have to be able to demonstrate as an agent that, look, we follow up on these leads. We do get leads. This is how I'm going to market your home.
Right.
So if you've got someone who, is in some company that they don't even have a website, let alone a web page, do you really want that?
Right.
You know?
Right. Yep. Agreed. I'm trying to think if there was, what I was going to say is I know with the Edina Realty, we have what we call Sell My Home.
Oh, good
and
one, yeah.
so, and we sign people on right away when they list their property, and you can go in there at any time and see how many people have pulled your property up in just a general search, like, a single family home priced 200 to 300. And then if your house was also pulled up in a specific search saying it, clicked on your property and they saw it and they wanted to go find out more detail, you can get that information as well. So that's great information. If you have, we used to say if you had 20% of the people are looking at the detail of your property that have pulled it up in a general search, you're priced pretty good. So it's nice to be able to, measure that and maintain it and monitor it.
Well, and I'm glad that you brought that up because that's a really excellent point. That's the cornerstone of my marketing plan as well. And this is unique to Edina Realty. No other real estate company has this. And both Tovi and I live on numbers and statistics because we're not going to leave anything with your home to chance. We are going to make sure we're monitoring every part of the process when we're trying to sell your house.
Yep.
All right. So next one would be when you have a buyer lead, how do you follow up? Tovi, how do you?
Well, so like usually when we say buyer leads, if it's somebody that's driving by the property and call on your phone number outside. Oh, for goodness sakes, I can't even talk right now.
You're talking about the listing phone number on the
right.
on the
That's on
sign.
the sign outside. They'll usually contact me, and then I follow up with them, and I'll usually answer my phone. But if not, follow up with them, see if I can show them the property, give them the information on the property, tell them about the neighborhood. If they are not ready right then, maybe tell them about an open house that's coming up, or let them know to give me a call, whatever.
But the main thing she's trying to say, I think, is that what?
So as she's rambling, the main thing she's trying to say is, okay, go ahead.
That we follow up with everybody who calls or contacts us via email, text, online, whatever, and we're going to make sure that we at least touch base with them.
Right.
Some of them aren't going to call us back, but the nice thing about this is that when we make that connection, we will save that particular client or that buyer lead, call it what you want, to follow up with them again later, like she said, if there's an open house. But more importantly than
price
that,
adjustment,
well,
something.
yeah, and we save those leads. So also too, we both have a list of potential buyers looking in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area that when we get a house listed, we send out that flyer to all of these people.
Yep.
I'm not saying they won't see your listing somewhere else, but again, another contact never hurts.
Right.
All right. So after the first 30 days, what next? How do you keep the listing fresh? This is a question that no one ever asks because most sellers and agents don't think to either A, ask it or answer it.
Right.
How do you feel about that, Toby?
Sorry, I just had somebody come in my office.
Oh, geez.
Okay,
No.
so we're all right. So ask me again. Okay, after the first 30 days. Oh,
What
you know
next?
what? Some things I'll do. I will change up the pictures. That's always a good one. Changing up the seasonal pictures. A lot of people do not do that. The house was listed in the wintertime. It could be summer and the house still looks like it's listed in the
Middle of winter.
wintertime. So that's always a great way to freshen it up. After 30 days, that's also sometimes to talk about a price adjustment or swapping out photos, and then we'll do them all at the same time, or do a different sort of mailing marketing piece. I mean, there's a lot of different things.
Yeah, and the reason that this question is in there is I felt that it was important to add strictly because of the fact that a lot of agents, once they have the listing for 30 days, I don't want to say they put it to sleep, but the bag of tricks is empty at that
Right.
point, and they don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
But if you have a grasp of technology, there's a lot of different things you can do as a listing agent to keep that listing fresh, to refresh it on different websites. And like
Right.
Toby said, it's more than just upgrading the photos and the descriptions. There's other things we do too, which we would go into detail with you if we meet with you face to face. But
Yeah.
that's a really important thing that you need to kind of consider, because the last thing you want to do is entrust somebody to list and sell your house, and then 30, 45 days go by, and then that's pretty much it.
Right, exactly.
know?
Yes, I know.
So you want to look at the long-term plan of the listing agent, which then goes all the way back to the full service.
Right, exactly.
So,
Good. I like how you did that.
All right. Hey, I get an A for the day. Do you have anything else that you would like to add to this one?
I don't. I don't.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think
Well,
you covered it.
Again, thanks everybody for taking the time to watch, and we have the house widget online, which is www.thehousewidget.com. If you go there and sign up, you can get a free market analysis along with comps and other things that have to do with your neighborhood and area. So if you're curious about maybe selling now or down the road, just visit us, or you can always call us or email us. All of that information is on the video. Thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Toby, thanks again.
Thank you.
And we'll see you again soon with another episode of Twin Cities Real Estate Rhetoric. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.